Rainy station. It was a rainy day. Ayumi was buying a ticket in front of the ticket gate at the station. Usually, she would go to the supermarket in front of the station next to her house. But today she had some shopping to do, so she went to the department store in front of the station. Ayumi looked to her side and saw a familiar face. It was more than 10 years ago. At the time, Ayumi was wondering whether she should continue dating her current husband. At that time, she got a call from a man named Yokota, who said he wanted to meet up. Yokota and I were in the same club at university, but we didn't really date while we were students, and even after we graduated. We only received a New Year's card from each other, so he had disappeared from my memory. At the cafe where we met, Yokota said with a serious face, "I want to date you with the intention of getting married. I've liked you since university." Ayumi didn't get it right away. I never thought that this person would propose to me. However, I knew that Yokota was an honest man, and he had a quick-witted personality since his school days. So I'm sure he has a bright future. I was just thinking about it, so maybe it was fate. Let me think about it for a bit. I wonder if I can answer after we've been dating for a while. Because even in our school days, he never said a word like that. From that day on, Ayumi was cheating on both her current husband and Yokota. I feel bad for Yokota, but maybe it was thanks to Yokota that I was able to marry him. That is, when she met her current husband the day after meeting Yokota. The relationship between Ayumi and her current husband became more exciting, as if she was a different person. Of course, her relationship with Yokota was limited to going to the movies and having dinner. So it wasn't cheating, but Ayumi felt sorry for her current husband, who didn't know anything about it. Perhaps her current husband noticed the change in Ayumi's feelings. Then, after about 3 months of this cheating, one day, Ayumi realized she was pregnant. She broke up with Yokota over the phone. Yokota may have sensed it. He backed off without a word. More than 10 years have passed since then. The child from that time is now in the 3rd grade of elementary school. Yokota, wearing a designer suit, dashed towards the ticket gate. Just as she expected, Yokota had become a respectable businessman. Even his way of walking is different from her husband, who could be laid off at any time. He probably doesn't notice that he has gained weight, like a different person since back then. Feeling a little lonely, Ayumi stared at Yokota's back as he left. At that moment, Yokota stopped and turned around. And then he started walking again. Another station. It was the first station she had seen in 10 years. She recognized that gaze. It was the person she had loved for 4 years in college. But it was already 10 years ago. I mustered up all my courage and confessed to her. And somehow she agreed to go out with me. But I knew she probably liked someone else more than me. I knew I would lose. It was a relationship that was just a formality. When I got home late from overtime, the answering machine in my room was flashing. I could clearly tell from the phone number that it was her. I thought it was too late, but I called her. Her voice was lower than usual. "I'm sorry, it's no good. It was just a small favor, but I was prepared for her to say something like that someday. So I was able to accept it easily. I'm sure I answered. If you have any problems, please let me know anytime." The next day, I agreed to mine. Bosses offered to be seconded to an overseas branch because of that. Maybe I wanted to forget. You only realize what's important when you lose it. I worked desperately for 10 years, with the sole intention of forgetting. Thanks to that, when I returned to Japan, I had my own room and secretary. But I can't forget. You can't look back.